Aristotle believed that the Earth was the center of the universe and that the sun and planets revolved around it.
The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Good habits formed at youth make all the difference. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. It is not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen. We are what we do repeatedly. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. We make war that we may live in peace. We cannot learn without pain. If one way be better than another, that you may be sure is nature's way. The end of labor is to gain leisure. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. The secret to humor is surprise. All that we do is done with an eye to something else. The best friend is the man who, in wishing me well, wishes it for my sake. The gods, too, are fond of a joke. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Happiness is the highest good.
Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit."
The whole is more than the sum of its parts. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. There's only one way to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living differ from the dead. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. It is in justice that the ordering of society is centered. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence.
Aristotle would often refer to himself as the philosopher of common sense.
The more you know you don't know. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Wisdom is the supreme part of happiness. The virtue of justice consists in moderation, as regulated by wisdom. The greatest virtues are those which are most useful to other persons. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Hope is a waking dream. The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing.
Aristotle was the first person to propose that the Earth was a sphere.
The secret of change is to focus all of your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. It is not enough to win a war. It is more important to organize the peace. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. The unexamined life is not worth living. Well begun is half done. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to consider a thought without accepting it.
Aristotle's philosophy had a profound influence on Western thought, and his ideas continue to be studied and debated to this day.
Nothing is permanent except change. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. There's only one way to avoid criticism. Do nothing. Say nothing. Be nothing. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit.